The concept of immunity in Ayurveda. The concept of immunity has been developed by modern medicine very recently, but it was very deeply studied in Ayurveda in all aspects at least 1000 years BC in Caraka Samhită. Agnives, a very scholarly disciple of Atreya, asked a very interesting question about health in that time. He asked his guru, Purvarvasu Atreya, about his observation that persons who take only a wholesome diet are seen to be both healthy and diseased. Similarly, the persons who do not take wholesome diet are also seen in a healthy as well as diseased condition. He wanted to know the attribute of good and bad effect of wholesome and unwholesome food. In answering the question and doubt of Agnives, Guru Atreya explained all the principles of immunity and susceptibility in individual so nicely and easily that all the modern concepts of immunity are thereby encompassed. We shall discuss the principle of immunity as mentioned in Ayurveda firstly and modern concepts thereafter. Atreya described that intake of wholesome food is not enough to avoid all diseases, as there are some other etiological factors such as color, abnormality of time or season, buddhi, mistake of intellect, and indriyartha, unsuitable contact of senses with their objects like sound, touch, vision, taste, and smell. The factors cause diseases. On the other hand, some people take unwholesome food and such food does not produce diseases immediately because everyone is not equally resistant or susceptible to disease factors. All bodies are not equal to responding to microorganisms. Weak people who are very obese, very lean, who have lax muscles, blood and bones are weak, indulgy, in unsuitable food, who are undernourished and have a weak mind, are not able to resist disease. On the other hand, who are not very obese, not very lean, good compact, muscular, blood and bone, well nourished by wholesome food and have a strong mind, have good resistance to this disease. Because of these differences, diseases can become mild or severe according to chronic, easily curable, or difficult to cure, or incurable. Oja is the only substance which is responsible for prevention of all physical and mental disorders by balam, strength, and pushti, nutrition. We have already discussed in previous chapter about origin and functioning of dhatus. Oja is the ultimate production of dhatu chakra, final element of tissue circle. Oja sarvasarirastham, snigdham, shitam, shiram, shitam, sumartakam, sharirasya balapushti karangmata iti Caraka Samhită. Guru Shitam Mridu Snigdham Sandram Sadhu Siram Taka Pasan Namam Vitsilam Sukshmoja Dasa Gunam Sutam iti Bhaprakash. Again Charak says that Ashtabindu Pramanam Tadisrakam Sapittakam Agni Soma Tama Kevam Dirupam Bonitantutat. Bhagavad says that Ojasya Tejadehanam Sukratanam Param Sutam Hridayastha Mapi Vyapi Dahasthiti Nivandanam Jasya Prabridha Dehasya Tushti Pushti Baladha Janasi Niyato Naso Jasamisti Sthiti Jivanam Nispadyate Jato Bhava Vividaha Jaha Sasma Sa Usha Prati Badhajaya Ravanya Sukamaratta. According to Charak, Oja is located over the body. It is snigdha, uncomfortableness, shitala, cold, sira, immobile, shita, white, somatmaka, nourishing, and produces bala, means strength, and pushti, nourishment of the body. Quantity of oja in the body is 8 drops. It is pale red and yellow, hot as well as cold. But according to Bhaprakash, it is guru, means heavy, sita, means cold, mridu, means sharp, snigdha, uncloseness, sandra, solid, sadhu, sweet, sthira, immobile, prasanna, clear or transparent, pichila, slimy, and sukshma, subtle. Bhagavad has explained Oja vividly. According to him, Oja is the teja, strength of all dhatus, from rasa to shukra. It is situated in the heart and sustains the body. Increasement of oja increases tushti, means satisfaction, pushti means nutrition, and bala means strength. Vacation of oja produces some incurable and life-killing diseases like acquired immune deficiency syndrome, AIDS, a fatal and dreadful panic of the world of the present time, enthusiasm, brilliance, patience, luster, youth, and normal functioning of the body and mind depends on normal condition of oja. The span of human life is sustained till oja is good condition, and demolition of oja demolishes last event. Now, attainment of immunity. Immunity can be attained by two ways: congenital and by acquired. Congenital immunity is classified into species immunity, racial immunity, and individual immunity. On the other hand, acquired immunity is classified into active immunity and passive immunity. Now, congenital or natural immunity. Congenital immunity can be obtained by specific immunity, racial immunity, and individual immunity. Elaborate discussion of these factors are as follows. A species-specific immunity. Scientific research works has established that some species are sensitive to some diseases caused by microorganisms. For example, some diseases like syphilis, gonorrhea, measles, leprosy, and poliomyelitis are diseases of human species only. Other animals are free from these diseases. B. Racial immunity. Defense mechanism against different diseases are varies in various races and tribes. White complexioned people are very sensitive to malaria and yellow fever than black complexioned people. Individual immunity. Defense mechanism against some infectious diseases of different people are different from each other. It is observed that in the time of some dreadful epidemic diseases like smallpox, cholera, COVID-19, maximum numbers of families or society were attracted, but very few numbers were free from ailments such attracted. Such immunity is obtained by birth. Immunity is also depend on age, nutrition, and social status. Skin and mucous membrane of the body protect the body from some microorganisms, and sometimes it secretes some liquid for the same purpose. Some blood cells swallow and destroy some microorganisms. Secretion of sweat glands and sebaceous glands contain some acid like lactic acid, saturated and unsaturated fatty acids, which are not healthy for microorganisms. Ciliated cells of bronchi protects our lungs from various infections. Vaginal lactobacillus, often adult female, protects her from attack of pathogenic bacteria and enzymes of stomach and intestine. Also protect the body from various bacterial attack. Tissue depends. Tissue fluid and body fluid stands against bacteria when it enters into body tissues, violating surface defense system. This defense mechanism observed by two factors. humoral factors and cellular factors. Humoral factors, lysozymes, properdin, beta-lysine, basic, polypeptide, acute phase factor, bactericidin, complement, non-specific, hyperuronate inhibitor are considered as humoral factors. Lysozyme, it is a basic enzyme and available in all adequate quantity in saliva, nasal secretion, tears, semen, plasma of animal blood and white portion of eggs. This substance contains arginine and it is active in 3 to 6 pH to destroy gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria, melting their micropeptide of cell wall. Properdin, it is hemoglobin of vertebrate animals and this plasma protein is changeable in temperature. It is active against gram-negative bacteria, virus, especially influenza A and mumps virus and protozoa, etc. Beta-lysine, it is available in serum of healthy persons and it destroys spore of gram-positive bacteria. Basic polypeptide, it is a peptide compound by more than 2 amino acids and it destroys cell wall of Staphylococcus aureus, Streptococcus pyogenes, E. coli, etc. Acute phase factor. In this condition, antibody forms in the disease caused by bacterial infection. It is formed with a few hours of inflammation and this calcium-based antibody destroyed after some days of cure. Bactericidin, disease formed in the condition of C-reactive protein formation and active against Neisseria, Streptococcus and pyogenes. Complement, it is bactericidal element and it is found in all blood of all animals. Non-specific hyaluronate inhibitor, it is formed in the condition of tissue damage. It is destroyed by temperature, and magnesium ion is necessary for its activation. Cellular factor. Phagocytosis is an important function of this factor regarding immunity. Phagocytosis, neutrophil of blood and reticuloendothelial cell of tissue works as phagocytosis and stand against bacterial attack. Immediate after infection, neutrophil and monocyte goes to the affected area and allows attacker microorganisms, and in this way phagocytosis form a strong defense mechanism against bacterial attack. Reticuloendothelial cells of the tissues are classified into mobile and immobile groups. Macrophages move to the affected area slowly and stay for a long time there. During this time, they swallow leukocytes and increase themselves and produces giant cells in the condition of tuberculosis and cancer. Inflammatory reaction. In this condition, more number of leukocytes move to the affected area and help phagocytosis mechanism. Lymphocytes and plasma cells are also present in the inflamed area and produces an antibody. Moreover, sufficient quantity of antibacterial forces move to the circulation of blood and lymph increases there and washed out bacterial toxicity. Inflammation increases temperature, and this condition accelerates number of some groups of microorganisms as well as decreases oxygen and deposited bioacids and new condition of oxygen and bioacids constitute a new biochemical circumstance which is unfavorable to the bacteria.